It was December 24th, almost a year ago, when I got called into the office, which was kind of strange because December 24th is the Christmas Eve. But anyway, I went to the office. There in the meeting room, I got called and two of my managers were sitting right there. I got pushed forward a piece of paper, and what they basically told me was that it's not working out and I am being fired. Yeah, I got fired on Christmas Eve. Now, this has been more than a year, and in this time, I have learned so many different things about this whole thing that I went through, because getting laid off is not a really simple thing. Getting laid off is a life-changing experience, particularly if you're a guy who has been the bread earner for the whole of their life. This is something that you can't just go over so easily. So in this video, I want to talk about getting laid off and how you can go through with it. Hello everybody, my name is Manan. I have been making YouTube videos for a while now, and I thought since so many people are getting laid off, getting fired, and I got through this like more than a year ago, I share my experiences and share the best tips that I can share with you in order to get back on the track, get work and life in order. So let's move step by step. Step number one, do not sign anything without consulting your lawyer. This is very, 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 very important. Now, speaking from my personal example, when I got handed over a piece of paper, it basically said that I'm being laid off or I am being fired for lack of performance, which is kind of ironic because I was headhunted for that position. That position really did not exist before me, but I was called to that position as the first employee in that startup. So I knew that I cannot sign that piece of paper and basically acknowledge that I was not giving my full performance. So I had to consult with a lawyer and I discussed the course of action on what I needed to do. Because if I got fired, then I will not have any unemployment benefits. I will not be covered by state health insurance at all. So now this is for the country where I live in Europe, in Estonia. But if you are in the US or in any other country, then you have to consult the contract that you made with the company, any state or country laws that are applicable. And I really recommend that if you are in a situation where you really are not sure that you're getting the best deal in terms of severance, in terms of insurance, and in terms of all these things, get a lawyer. It's really important for your peace of mind to get a lawyer. It's going to cost some money, but trust me, peace of mind and the severance that you might get later is definitely worth it. So yeah, step number two, after getting laid off, take a break. Now, this is going to be probably the hardest period of your life. Speaking from my own personal example, I had been working for my whole professional life. Like, there was never a month where I wasn't employed ever since I graduated my university. And it is a life-changing experience. I mean, it turns your identity inside out. It just tells you like, okay, this part of my life of, this work, I do not have that anymore. So who am I? What am I to do? And one normal reaction that you do is quite simply that you just deny the whole thing. Like, for example, for me, what I thought was that I'm not going to join a 9-to-5 job at all because this sucks, because anybody can fire you anytime they want. But that is where I recommend that you take a breather, take a break, take some rest, take some time off, whether it is a week or 2 weeks. You will know when it is time to get back, and that you will know when you are no longer emotional or bitter. It might take a very long time, but your actions should not be a reaction to you being fired, right? So take a break, take a breather, take some time off, travel if you have to, if you can, but do not take any action. Do not decide anything until you have fully digested this whole thing. Take a break. Step number 3, after getting laid off, analyze your finances. Now, what is your financial situation? Because that is the most critical thing. I mean, do you have a family? Are you a sole bread earner? Do you have any dependents? Do you have any children? Basically, how much money do you need to survive the next 6 months? Now, I'm sure you must have gotten some severance as well. And also, if you are a good employee, then you do have a 6 months emergency fund saved. And this is exactly the time where you have the fund saved for. So analyze your finances, look out how much runway do you have, how much money can you burn, and consequently adjust your expenses as well. For me, one lesson that I learned while I was unemployed was that it is important to multiply your expenses by 1.5 to have like 50% more saved, even if you consume just 100%. The reason is just your peace of mind, because if you allocate, for example, $800 for your monthly expenses, and in the end of the month you just see these $10 or $20, or it runs like to zero, it really kind of is nerve-wracking. So yeah, allocate a little bit more and save it again. It's just for the peace of your mind. Analyze your finances, make sure what is your runway, how much time do you have before you absolutely need a job. Step number 4. Okay, now we know where we are in terms of the finances. It is time to get back into the grind. Now, normally what people do is that they just go online and start applying randomly to all the jobs that they can find that they have looked around. But what I recommend you do is step number 4, which is call everybody you know who is a working professional. Everyone you know who might have a chance that they are working in another company that might have a job. The reason why I'm saying is that contacts and references are the number one source of job anywhere. Like it is, whether it is India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Europe, US, anywhere. In the business world, personal references and contacts are like absolute. They're the tier 1 thing. They're like the top of the thing. So if I know someone who is a good fit for a job, might not even like advertise them, I might just ask them. And that is a big reason why a lot of the posts are trying to be filled in companies by internal hires, because everybody knows them and they know everybody. So the first thing when you are stepping into this getting the job hunt is to call everybody you know, all your acquaintances, all your relatives that are professionals that are working in different companies. Even if the company might not be specifically relevant to you, they might know somebody who needs something. So get the word out and call them. Like spend a day noting down the persons and then calling them, just talking to them, explaining your situation, and then just telling them, okay, I'm in this situation. I would really appreciate if you find something. If there is a job opening, then you can let me know and help me find a job as well. They're not going to do the work for you, but if they see somebody because they already know you, they will definitely refer something to you, and that absolutely is the fastest way to get a job anywhere in the world. Step number 5, and that is jump onto LinkedIn. Now, I didn't even mention anywhere that you need to create a CV or you need to polish your CV. I mean, I think CVs are kind of obscure now. Everybody has LinkedIn and you should have LinkedIn. And if you don't have LinkedIn, then you definitely need to get on LinkedIn and make sure that your profile picture, your banner, your headline, your about me section, all the things about your profile are up to date, because LinkedIn is the best way to get a job. Now, even if the job is definitely advertised on LinkedIn, recruiters are definitely there. And if you are applying for a job, then they will definitely look you up and they will look to see what your experiences and everything are. If you have been a good employee, a good professional, and listened to me before, then you would have already a really good LinkedIn profile and you would have been posting content about your work and everything, because that is your hedge against times like these. Having a backup, having a community, having a content stream, and having all these network of connections of people that you know everywhere in the world, so that in times of crisis, in times of these crises, you can ask for help. Now, here's the thing. If you don't want to manage your LinkedIn, or if you are struggling with LinkedIn already, then you can let me know, because I have my own content agency, more on that later, and I help people, get the best out of LinkedIn. So if you need help with LinkedIn or in general with job search as well, hit me down in the description. You will see a link. All right. So that's that. LinkedIn is important. Make sure to get on there, try to improve your profile and everything, and try to post relevant content that generates some traffic. Try to add recruiters that are relevant to your field. Try to look everywhere. I mean, LinkedIn has a superb way of getting job descriptions and job applications everywhere, but that should be the first place online that you put your effort in. Okay, step number 6. Now that you have established your LinkedIn profile and everything and you are actively looking around, now is the time to do outreach. Now, the time is that you actively ask people who you have worked with before, like your managers, your colleagues, and everybody. Ask them for recommendations, ask them for references, ask them to recommend on your profile and the work that you have done, because this is like really important. Like anybody who goes to your profile and sees, okay, this is a guy, is he a professional? And they see, okay, a glowing recommendation from somebody who is like a manager or somebody, and then they say, okay, this is a really cool guy to work with. Unfortunately, he is laid off, then they will be much more inclined to hire you as well, because they will definitely look through your profile if somebody is looking to interview you. So yeah, this is important. Make sure that you ask your colleagues, your peers, your previous people that you have worked with for recommendations and everything, and make sure to add it in your profile. Okay, step number 7 is, hopefully if you're doing all that, then you might get some interview opportunities. Now, there has been so much said about job interviews that I feel that I might not be able to add too much to that, but just 2 things that I think every interviewer going should know is that try to go to the interview like 15 to 20 minutes before the actual thing. Just go sit there, have a cup of coffee, sit, chat, soak in the atmosphere, and then just relax. So going there early helps you relax. The second thing that I would really recommend if you're going for an interview is to always prepare the questions beforehand that you might need to ask them. Those should be not like generic questions, but something very specific about them. For example, when I went to a job for my first company, which is an automotive company, as a mechanical engineer, I just asked a very specific question, which was, where do you see mechanical engineering going in the future of automobile industry? Because we all know that cars are becoming more and more software. So where do mechanical engineers are going to be? And I got a really good, thoughtful answer from somebody who has been working in the industry for like 35 years. And even if I didn't get hired for the job, it increased my knowledge. So make sure that any question that you ask the interviewer is very, very specific and not very generic. Step number 8. And I think this might not be applicable for everybody, but I'm stating it because I went through it myself as well. If you don't think you're able to get a job anywhere, despite you being trying and despite being a hardworking professional who has tons of experience, then I might recommend one thing to you, and that is entrepreneurship or creating your own job. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody easily because entrepreneurship is nerve-wracking, it's stressful, it's anxious. But if you can't get a job that you want to work in wholeheartedly and you think that you can really benefit from it and utilizes your full potential, if you can't meet all these conditions in a certain company or place, then it might be best to look at creating your own work. It's definitely not easy. Very few people actually take the risk to do it. Very few people actually stick with it, and very few people actually succeed in it. But you will know if you are a professional who has this aptitude, because all the other doors will seem closed to you and this door will be open. So if you see this door of entrepreneurship open to you, of making your own job, preferably you have had a side hustle or something that you have been doing for like quite a while now, which is another thing that I always recommend professionals to always have a side hustle. If you have been doing it for a while now, then maybe it is time to jump into it full time, which is what I did, and I created my own job at my own content agency. So yeah, this is the story of the past 1.5 years. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be a life-changing experience for you. This is going to wreck you emotionally because, like I said, it's a part of your identity, where you work and how you work, and getting rejected from work is not going to be easy. But looking back a year ago where I was, and now a year where I am, like trying to build something of my own, I wouldn't be able to take that risk if I didn't get laid off, if I didn't get rejected so harshly. So yeah, there it is. Now, I wish you all the best. As I said, this is a severe thing. This is a life-changing experience. And I would also add that if you need coaching or help in finding a job, if you need coaching or help in fixing up your LinkedIn profile, then I am actually offering this service through my content agency. I help professionals and companies get their LinkedIn in order. I even help with their content that gives them leads, business, more value. And for professionals who are actually looking for a job right now, I've recently been helping a person from from the US who really wants to settle in Estonia, and I've been helping them get a job, line up interviews, talking to the people I know, my own connections, and then trying to find the best ways on how I can help the person get a job here. So if you are in the same position, if you are really looking to, get a job here in Estonia, then you can ask me for help and personal coaching as well. Again, you can reach out to me down below, and I wish you all the best and enjoy the journey. Bye bye.